I think that a lot of us do not understand just how powerful and amazing and out of this fucking world that we actually are. And I do not think that that is totally your fault. To be honest, I think that there is a lot hidden from us. I think that the masses are massively brainwashed. There is so much chemical warfare, just the chemicals in your food that you are consuming. I believe 100% that this is chemical warfare to keep people suppressed, to keep their power suppressed, to keep true knowledge and wisdom about who you are and what is going on, and just wisdom on existence and the truth of life and of being. All of this chemical warfare is meant to suppress your psychic gifts, to suppress your intuition, to suppress love among people and brainwash you and encourage hate and anxiety and fear. The more I have taken things out of my diet, foods, I think having a mostly vegan diet has helped immensely. Just cutting junk food out of my diet was honestly, that was the biggest one to me, was cutting junk food out of my diet. Cutting meat out of my diet and dairy products out of my diet was very big as well, because a lot of that stuff is pumped full of hormones. Even the stuff that is not pumped full of hormones carries the energies of the animals, and there is so much fear energy in those animals. I have worked on a ranch recently, and even places where they raise those animals with love and they raise them well and the animals are free, they still go to the same place to die. They are still pumped full of adrenaline and fear before they die, and that is carried into their meat. Like, you guys don't have to believe in this, but it is 100% fucking true, dude. Energy is fucking real. Energy is in the things that you consume. When you go out to eat and you're eating something and the cook back there is just pissed off about life and is pouring hate into your food, you are literally consuming that chef's hate. It is a real fucking thing, guys. So that's just energetically, right? So then there's the actual chemical aspect. So the more that I cut things out of my diet, when I cut junk food out of my diet, my anxiety and my fear decreased immensely. Fucking insane. To a point where I am so sensitive to chemicals that I can pinpoint changes in my mentality and in my mental state just based on the things that I consume. For instance, one that I recognize always, and I really try to stay the fuck away from it, is red dye. Red dye is something that very consistently, when I consume things that have red dye, my anxiety goes through the fucking roof. It goes through the fucking roof. And I have seen this in children. Children are very, very sensitive to chemicals. I believe that all children come into this world with their chakras open. They are very fucking psychic, and they're very sensitive to these things, and yet we just fill our children with all these fucking chemicals and wonder why they're just fucking fucked up, other than all the trauma that they're also going through. But this chemical warfare is something that disallows you from moving on. It disallows you from learning lessons in your life, in your relationships, and moving on from them. It keeps you from seeing truth. It keeps you from seeing truth. It keeps you from seeing who actually deserves to be in your life and who fucking doesn't. The more that you cut out toxins, the more you cut out poisons. This means poisonous foods, chemicals, pills, whatever the fuck it is. The more you cut these things out, alcohol, drugs, guys, literally, stop consuming poison. And I'm calling myself out when I say this as well. The more you cut these things out, the more you will be stepping into truth. The more you will be stepping into the life of your fucking dreams. The more you will become the person that you actually want to be. The more that your psychic gifts begin to open. And you begin to see the truth of life, of the people around you, of what's happening. I recently, because I had some poison oak. It's healing. That's probably why my nose is red. I also think I've been outside in the cold for a bit. But I was taking some Benadryl for a few days to help with my poison oak. I am really sensitive to even like painkillers, so I don't usually take drugs very often, pharmaceutical drugs, even over-the-counter stuff, because of how sensitive I am. I have a really sensitive body. A lot of times it will hurt my stomach, or it just doesn't feel good, or it gives me anxiety. I took this Benadryl and it had been helping me, and I was feeling really depressed at the time, and I like processed and I worked through all this depression, and then I had some Benadryl to help with my poison oak, and almost immediately when it hit me, I started getting super fucking depressed, like out of nowhere. And I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? So I did some research and I found out that Benadryl, so it fucks with your central nervous system, which is what gives it the feeling of like drowsiness and exhaustion, which probably is what also helps with the, I don't know, with the antihistamine to fight the feeling of, you know, calm down the inflammation, basically. But I did even deeper research and I found out that it actually limits, I hope I'm wording this correctly, it limits the reuptake of serotonin. So literally, that is how sensitive I am. This is how sensitive I am, how much I have limited my consumption of poison, that taking a couple of Benadryl, I can feel the switch in my mentality. I know that it's from something. It's not just from something inside of me, because I just processed a massive amount of emotions and lifted myself the fuck out of a dark period. And I knew, and I did research, and it was the fucking Benadryl. It literally was affecting my brain chemistry and the way that I was processing things in my life, and it was making me more depressed. And once that had flushed out of my body, I lifted back out of the depression. It was fucking insane, dude. Like, and it was cool because I could recognize it. I could recognize the shift, and I could do something about it. I did something about it. I researched it, and I sat there. It was like, I'm not going to let this pull me into a downward spiral because I consumed something that had poison that is affecting me negatively. Now that I can see that it's doing that to me, even though I chose to do that, I am going to recognize that that is what is causing this mentality and what is causing my downward spiral. And I'm going to consciously not give attention to that depression. I'm going to consciously step out of that and say, if I need to focus on something else, yes, I feel depressed right now, and maybe I cannot change that until this has flushed out of my body completely, but what I can do is not give my power to that negative mental cycle. I do not have to give my power to that. I can realize what is happening and give my power to something else. And it might be difficult, and I encourage you to do this for yourself. If you notice yourself going down a negative spiral, think about what you're consuming. If you are somebody like me who is very careful about what you consume, think about what you have consumed or what people you've been around. A lot of times, mental health issues are environmental. You see that again? A lot of times your mental health issues are environmental. Trauma is very real, guys, but you are able to heal from that. And yes, there are certain things and mental disorders that we have collected sometimes that takes time to heal from and create balance in our life and work through. But healing is possible. It doesn't always just go away like that. I mean, like, I believe in miracles, so I believe that in some cases that actually might fucking happen for some people. There are people who have taken large doses of hallucinogens and just experienced massive healing in their life, miraculous massive healing in their life. So that is possible. It is totally possible. Ah! My dog. Run away with my bag! Change is possible, guys. But sometimes you gotta take responsibility for what you are consuming And I've said this before in some videos. I don't know what. I did write a poem called Astral Company. I will put a link to it below, about being wise about who you spend your time with. There was this thing that I heard years ago that said that the 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with define who you are. That's who you are. That's who you become. You are a part of your environment. You are one with your environment. So if you are hanging around toxic ass people, people who just talk shit all the time, or just spreading massive amounts of hate and envy and all of this fucking bullshit, that's who you are. That's who you're becoming. I have had to step away from relationships because of the energy that they are exuding, the energy that they are giving off, and I realized that's not what I want to become. So that is not what I can surround myself with. Just the same as being in certain areas. I had to leave Humboldt because where I was at was draining the fucking life out of me. There was a unity consciousness there of hate and greed and extreme grief and rage over what was happening to the area, that so many people could not even glimpse at the positive aspects of the change that was happening. They couldn't see that now that the cannabis industry is failing out there, that the earth is being less polluted. There is less overconsumption of these farms and more respect for nature. There is less disrespect towards nature because all of these big time farms, little time farms, medium sized farms can't be consuming cannabis, producing cannabis at that rate. They can't be polluting their soil at that rate, polluting the rivers at that rate anymore. And it's heartbreaking to watch this industry fail and so many businesses fail because of it. This is something that a lot of people don't know about, and I've thought about making a video about this, about the collapse of the cannabis industry due to the legalization of cannabis. At least the collapse for like the small man, even like the big time farmer small man. It has provided jobs for so many fucking people, and now it is just destroying. It is destroying the livelihood of so many people, not being able to produce because of the expenses of having permits to do that, and now they're placing laws that are taking away the right to grow. But anyway, I had to leave that area because it was drowning. It was drowning in so much hate, so much disgust of what was happening. There was such a massive, intense energy over that area that was just fucking draining me, and it was environmental, and I had to move and get the fuck out of it. Now I'm back in Oregon, and there are certain places that I realize that I need to stay the fuck away from. And now that I've had space and I've gone through a massive amount of healing and transformation in my time in Humboldt, it was really intense, like 6 months, and I was so depressed and lonely. But I had a few instances that created such massive, life-changing transformation in my life that I have to focus on how powerful that was. But I came back transformed as fuck, and now I can see that there are certain environments here in Oregon that I need to stay the fuck away from. There are certain people that are just seeping hate out of them that I can't be around anymore. Stop consuming poison. Stop surrounding yourself with poisonous people. Sometimes you think as light workers and as healers, self-healers, psychics, you think that you can fix other people. You think that you can heal other people, but that's not your job. Your job is to heal yourself. Your job is to become self-aware, aware of your environment, aware of what is going on in the world around yourself and other people. Self-healing is about awareness. It's about creating change. But you can't change other people. You can't heal other people. You can't fix them. That's their job. You can exude love to such a degree that it automatically creates a domino effect in other people's lives and hearts. I believe there are a lot of people, and I think that I might be one of them, that carries a certain type of energy that when you go around people, it triggers a subconscious transformation. That is what a healer does. You trigger transformation in other people, and you can bring like your healing gifts. Like, I am not saying that like you're not doing any good for the world if you're a massage therapist or doing Reiki and energy healing or therapy. You are bringing so much to the world. There are so many people who need that. I am one of them. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for bringing your healing gifts in that way. I think my videos are also healing, a form of healing gift in some way, but at the same time, even with those hands-on healing gifts, you don't fix people by doing that. You put a little bit of a band-aid over it, you make them feel a little bit better, and maybe you trigger some type of transformation. Maybe you trigger the desire in them to create permanent change in their life. But they have to do that. They have to do that for themselves. You go to the doctor for health issues and they can give you pills and drugs as a band-aid to fix the problem. But you're the one who has to put in the effort to create actual permanent healing and change in your life. If you have health issues related to what you're consuming, what you're eating and stuff, stop eating that stuff. I personally believe that health issues stem from the mind, from mental patterns and beliefs, emotional patterns and such, from trauma that is held on to, pain that is held on to, things that you've been through. And I'm on my own journey of understanding that shit and not putting myself down when I experience things. Just sometimes when you experience physical pains and disease, you have to just allow it. Sometimes you put in all this effort to change and create healing in your life and you don't see it, and it's okay, guys. I don't have all the answers right now. I don't have all the answers, but what I am saying by this is that there is a lot of stuff going on in the fucking world that a lot of people are unaware of, that even like, people are so brainwashed. Some people are so brainwashed that even being told the truth is unacceptable to them. It's unacceptable, and it's not like accepted. Some people don't want to know the truth. Some people are not willing to accept the truth. Some people are not willing to accept that the foods that they are putting in their body are affecting them. The foods that I'm putting in my body are affecting me. But it's true. Chemical warfare is absolutely real, guys. Your environment affecting you, the people that you surround yourself with affecting you, the TV that you watch, the movies that you watch, the songs that you listen to, the books that you read. These are all the things that you are consuming either physically or energetically, and they are affecting you. And maybe you need to hear that. It's fucking real. It's fucking real, guys. Energetic and chemical warfare is a real thing. And the thing is, you have the power to change it. You are not powerless. Don't give your power away to those things or to the thought that like nothing can change. You know what? There is a lot fucked up in this world, and it is good to take a step back and realize that you can't change everything, and try your best not to get too consumed by the negative that is happening and all the evil that there is. I know It can get overwhelming sometimes. But first of all, change is possible, and it starts with yourself. It starts with you. What are you putting into your body? What are you surrounding yourself with? What are you consuming? You deserve to be consuming things that make you feel good about life. I honestly think that a lot of us are addicted to negativity. Just like any drug. When you're addicted to alcohol and drugs, you're not addicted to it because it always makes you feel good, because the honest truth is, as somebody who has struggled with a lot of addiction, being addicted to something, drugs and alcohol don't actually make you feel good. They might make you feel good for an instance, but in the long run, they actually kind of make you feel like shit. I think negativity is kind of like that. Negative mental cycles, being depressed, hating on people. It makes you feel self-righteous in some way sometimes. It's a weird, I wouldn't say it's like a dopamine hit. Maybe in some weird psycho way it is. It feeds your darkness. It feeds some part of you. Or maybe not even some part of you. It's feeding some entity that is eating off of your negativity. It's eating off of you, man. Energy is, oh man, this is just a whole thing. This is a whole thing. I believe in entities and demons and angels and spirits and ghosts. They're all fucking real. Portals, they're all real, dude. Energy is fucking crazy. And it's impacting us all the time. When you are constantly consumed by grief, you are feeding an entity that is consuming that. There is something that has latched onto you and that is triggering those negative emotions inside of you. And grief is a normal feeling, guys. There is nothing wrong with grief, and each of us takes our own amount of time to heal from grief. If you've lost somebody, I am so sorry. Loss is so hard to deal with. Death is so hard to deal with. Death of relationships, death of people. It's not easy to grieve, and you take the time that you need to. But I'm talking more about negative mental cycles, habits, being consumed by depression every day, all fucking day, just being consumed by negativity or anxiety. And I have mental health issues, guys. I understand. I understand how difficult that is to pull yourself out of. But I'm here to tell you that it's fucking possible, and you need to start taking responsibility for that possibility. You are able to change. I'm sitting here showing it, and yes, I still have bad days, and there are some days that are so bad that I wonder if I've changed at all. But it is totally possible. Change is totally possible. Healing is totally possible. Start by looking at what you are consuming. What are you putting into your body? Who are you around? I've only said this like 5 times in this video. Maybe less, maybe more. I don't fucking know. Start by paying attention to what you are consuming. Maybe consuming less meat or dairy products would be a good choice. I think some of you might have already felt the urge to do that. Maybe not eating those junk chips. There are healthier options. there are actually some pretty good, healthier options that aren't packed full of chemicals. I think that even some of the healthier options are not necessarily the best choices because they still have some weird shit in there sometimes. But shit like Doritos and Cheetos, which I love, you know, everybody loves the taste of those. It makes my mouth water thinking about it. It's brainwashing, dude. It's chemical warfare. They put chemicals in there that make them addictive. They put chemicals in those things that mess with your fucking brain chemistry. It messes with your fucking brain. It messes with your mentality. It messes with your third eye being open. It messes with all of your chakras. It's unhealthy for you physically and energetically. It's unhealthy for you emotionally. It's unhealthy for you mentally. It's just not good for you. You wonder why you cannot climb out of that. You wonder why change isn't happening in your life. What are you consuming? What are you consuming? Just, that's it, guys. Thank you for sitting through this video with me. I hope that you enjoyed it. My name is Cherisse. If this is your first time here, please do like and subscribe below if you enjoyed the video. And I will talk to you guys again soon when I have more to share. I love you. Bye.